shocking social media posts of Trump shooter Thomas Crooks are revealed by social networking website CEO. Now, what's strange is the language used in that it is unconfirmed, but also definitive proof. Take that for what it is. It seems to be based on law enforcement requests. This is his account and posts he made. And I think they're just trying to be careful in saying unconfirmed. But let's give you the news and you can draw your conclusions. And I'll stress, it is a strange headline because the Daily Mail is definitively stating these are the posts of the shooter. They say the CEO of Gab revealed posts that he claims may have been written by Donald Trump's would-be assassin Thomas Crooks. And I just want to clarify, like, the games they're playing with how they're wording these things. Torba said on Wednesday that an unnamed law enforcement agency informed him that Crooks may have posted pro-Biden messages on Gab, the platform known for its alt-right users and conspiratorial content. Oh, you love that, don't you? I don't believe that's what he said. I believe they received an emergency disclosure from a law enforcement agency notifying them of these posts for the individual, which lead him to believe that it was definitive proof, though he could not confirm that was the case. It's weird language. I'm going to stress that for a millionth time. So we have some of these posts. They're all pro-Biden. They say in a post from February 2021, the poster replies to an electoral projection with, "Didn't you also think Biden would lose in a landslide? Yeah, I would not be very confident in your election predictions." In another post, the Gab user defended Biden's border policies, saying they don't incentivize human trafficking and linked to a study that compared crime by undocumented migrants with those of legal migrants and American citizens in Texas. The poster wrote, "Biden executive orders don't incentivize trafficking as human traffickers aren't interested in citizenship. Likewise, the majority of illegal immigrants are not criminals, and in fact, some studies, such as the one linked below, show lower rates of crime committed by these individuals." I think they're trying to be careful here, but I think it's a 99% that these are the posts from the guy. I think it is obvious that this dude was anti-Trump because he tried to kill Trump. And we're getting this argument that he was a registered Republican. And he was like, a bunch of Democrats voted Republican for Nikki Haley.
Yep.
That doesn't mean, and there are Republicans who don't like Trump. Mm-hmm. So this is a strange story. And I will stress this, especially with how the Daily Mail headlines it as though it's a definitive fact, but then goes on to insert every possible caveat imaginable. Mm-hmm. So
I can understand why the Daily Mail is trying to walk the line, right? You don't want to be the news organization that's proving publishing something as if it's been proven completely. But I do appreciate that Andrew Torba and Gab are coming out and saying, like, look, this is the interaction we've had with law enforcement. This is what they've requested from us because we get no information from the government. I mean, they're not even putting out sort of the, like, here's the profile we have created for this person based on what they have. They're really giving us no information, including initially they said he had no social media activity at all. And then it was like, well, he was on that gaming website. And also maybe it turns out he was like intentionally going on to maybe more conservative platforms to agitate in favor of Biden.
Also, even if he didn't have a social media profile, that is a social media profile in itself. So that has to be intentional at this point to not have a social media profile. But it's true what you say, because normally these law enforcement agencies would hold press conferences every day and we would keep hearing about it. Just think about with other shootings or the bridge collapse, it's like they just keep updating you as to when there's going to be a briefing.
Because they try to look busy.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I totally think we've had a lot bigger press conferences on more minor stories, and there's been nothing. The only things we've seen is from House Oversight Committee testimonies where they've subpoenaed them to come in person. Right. And obviously that turned into the resignation of the Secret Service director. Two big things I see here. First of all, this is another example of a media cover-up. I mean, they constantly try to tell us in the days following, oh, he was just a Republican who was upset with Trump's policies. He was just a crazy guy. And we're like, no. This is more than just a crazy guy. Like, obviously there's some more behind this. And then a good point that you made, he intentionally went into a conservative safe space, made an account, and put very long posts out replying. He wasn't in his own territory. This was intentional. I mean, you look at those posts, these are paragraphs with like articles attached to it. He spent time and was meticulous with this.
Yeah, and that's a really good point because I didn't even read some of these. These are in-depth analyses talking about percentages, years. Look at, he's like, the turnout in 2020 election was 66.7%. 2012 it was 55. Now if you do blah, blah, blah. This is a guy who was deeply active.
Yeah.
I kind of have a picture in my mind of who he was. He's a very anti-Trump guy, lives in this media world of anti-Trump where they sell these things, and then he wants to go into the right-wing spaces, and he's angry with these people. He's going after them. Didn't they say that he wanted to kill a bunch of the Trump supporters after he shot Trump?
Yeah, because they had that explosive in the car that he didn't set off.
Right. I think they were saying that it wasn't operational.
Yeah.
That's what I just saw today. But they were mentioning that he also had plans on just basically shooting everybody. That's why I don't like when they say he missed, because he didn't. He hit the Trump supporters that he hated. I think these messages are his. I think it's a fair assessment based on what Gab is saying. And I will stress that they did also say in their emails it was definitive proof that he's a Biden supporter. It's like, okay, it's tough. I don't know. But
Major.
It makes sense. You've got a guy a few years ago. Then he watches the news media and they say all day, every day, Trump is Hitler. He's an existential threat. He must be stopped by any means. And this crazy guy says, okay, what do I got to do?